And happy Thanksgiving to one and all. Of course, happy Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
Keith, and welcome to Today at the Races. Of course, we have our infamous pie giveaway.
hmm
You buy a program, you get a free pie. Let's take a look at what we've got going on outside to accommodate. And the menu fits the weather. It's rainy outside. You want to go for those carbs. We have a wonderful buffet that we also hold here today, Keith.
Yes, enjoy the pie, enjoy the buffet, get yourself a nice cup of coffee, warm you up a little bit before you kind of delve in and
Right.
dive into this card. 9 races on tap today.
Mm-hmm.
We've got some stakes action later in the weekend for everybody. We've got some
Yeah.
tomorrow, but yeah, I've got a couple nuggets today that I do like. Hopefully, they
Uh-huh.
can be plentiful and help that Thanksgiving buffet and boost the bankroll heading in towards Christmas as well. Some Black Friday shopping, I'm sure, tomorrow. But
Hopefully some
yeah.
bountiful harvest from Keith
Yes,
Musil
we're
in
going to
your
try.
wallet. Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Let's get things going here. Let's start with the
hmm
early pick five. Of course, in this claiming 30,000 for the girls 3 and up, which have never won 3.
hmm
No scratches here.
Yeah.
Keith, you go with the number 1 on the inside. Love to eat for Kieran McGee. Tori Alba, you have a nice little stat to kick us off right away for T-Day.
Yeah, Callie. There's
How
definitely
fitting. Love to eat, by the way.
love to eat. Perfect way to
Yeah.
start the day. And there is some speed in here. Love to eat when you kind of look at her PPs. She predominantly wants to be on the front end, but there might be a chance she can sit just off of. But look at this stat for Kieran we dug up. Last 2 years on the Laurel main track, he's 6 for 15, 40%, 9 for 15 in the money with the fillies and mares off of a win and a top buyer figure. That's what you got. That ROI is really strong at 419. Escaped from a little bit of a bobble at the break last time for 20. Now, my top two choices in here, my users, the 1 and the 6, they kind of fit when we talk about the conditions of the race. For those newer people that might be here today and you're reading the conditions, that's what's up top of the race, describing things. Well, this is kind of restricted to 3 in life. But the 3-year-olds, if the straight 3-year-olds, which these fillies are, they've won more than 3. So I like that. They're proven winners, the 1 and the 6. But love to eat, yes. Got away with a slower flow last time. I think she's got enough position, though, and the form that she's in, she can strike from just off of it because the horse just to her outside, Bondiva, is very quick. It's a first-time tag horse here for Tim Keefe. Kilo Road is also fast. A video spotlight, right, of Kilo Road at a 15-1 morning line. Kilo Road has faced Bondiva before. She's been protected quite a bit. And right here, she doesn't get the lead, but she holds position. She had to wait and steady. She gets in a little traffic, a little bit of a tight spot, upper stretch. And I tell you what, she works outward, and she keeps trying. I like her draw here. You should see Persino probably go and get early position and stay the trip. But I love to eat just off the pace. Photo finish is proven. Brittany Russell, our top trainer here, she does a phenomenal job, a big team, and all they do is win. But photo finish got it done 2 races back on a muddy sealed surface. We've got a sloppy surface today. And won it from just kind of vying. She can win from further back as well. She had trouble against
Right.
Open Company. Really good field last time and did churn on late after trouble. So I'll key around the 1. We're right there together.
I
Callie.
like that
1,
7.
6, 6, 1, and Kilo Road will toss in as a little bit of a price.
I do. I like that Kilo Road for a price. I missed that, Keith.
Okay.
Thanks for bringing that up.
All
But
right.
of course, we never miss a Keith Fustel early pick sequence. This time you give us an early pick 3
Yeah.
here for Thanksgiving Day, starting in race number 2.
A little bit rusty off the layoff here, right? It's
That's
been
okay.
a few days, so we kind of want to go with a $15 ticket, and we have some prices amongst these selections without a doubt. So 6, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's 5 runners to get you started in race 2. We're going to try to link them up in race 3 with the 1 and the 5 Helms Deep. We'll talk about that one. And race 4, wrap it up with the 5, 6, and 7. Maybe we need a little outer flow by looking at the way my selections are. Hopefully the outside is good today. But it's a $15 early pick 3 ticket. And we've got a couple really solid morning line selections within those picks.
Absolutely. No, I'm excited to see what we've got going on for
Okay.
values underneath. Let's get going here in the first leg here. In this claiming 12-5 for the girls 3 and up, which have never won 2, going 3/4 of a mile on the dirt scratches. And the 8, 9, 14, 15 to 13 does run. As you can see, we both have
Yeah.
the 13 now in our selections. Let's go ahead and talk about Iced Mocha on the outside, of course, for Gina Perry, Eric Fuentes. Distance here fits.
Yeah, that little 16th of a mile extra could pose a problem, maybe. But I think she's going to be sent hard from the outside, try to clear, and then take to some rating into and around the turn. She was dead game last time. Yum Yum Eat It Up was able to kind of sneak through and get it done to beat her. It's an in-form horse, but Ice Mocha, I think it's going to be her race to lose up on the front end. She might get some pressure. South Pacific is a horse I've thrown in. I know she's 1 for 31. A little bit of a hiccup last time, but she had run some pretty good races. So don't leave her out of your exactas. That's the 12 for Mary Epler. But we're going to concentrate. I'll let you talk a little bit about the 6th. Let It Go to Voicemail for Ben Perkins off of a break. Takes the weight here. Edric Robles at 121, the 5-pound apprentice allowance. But this filly freshened up just enough. I thought ran very good, Callie, last time she was seen on a sloppy sealed surface.
And that's just it. She's repeating exactly what she ran on last time out. And yes, off of the layoff, but you just kind of have to trust. I love the fact that we've got a gate work for Benny leading into this. Of course, they need their gate 6-month gate card, but the fact that it was just so flashy and a bullet work at that, that immediately caught my attention, because especially with these races at this type of level, you have to go with the horse that's really good mental momentum wise, and that's where I see this one. You have Benny Perkins, who's industry average. He's 14% first off the layoff as of lately, but I think with the weight off as well, there's going to be a clear objective, and we know that this one, as long as this one can get comfortable in that position on the front end, that's the trick. But if this one last time out proved that this one can still run, even though if she doesn't get her way, she's still going to be able to run.
I think she's going to like the setup she gets today. With Sunny Sunshine is probably a go as well for Salzman. So that speed is out there. Just has to be careful not to get shuffled too far back. But she did not embarrass herself against the likes of Devil Pays in Gold, Stop the Cap. That was a triple key race, 2 races back that she comes out of. She holds against the right company. Quick K, the 10 horse for Leo Ambrosi, has proven to run well off of a layoff. She's another one, I think, that if things get hot and contested up front, she can close into it. Last seen at Pimlico, she was against the bias, but still ran quite well. Closed in off of that race. She was in peak form at that time. She's been run well off the break. Now it's a 187-day break. We'll see. But if she can kind of hold form, cruises back, I expect her to make a run into this flow in race 2.
Why not? 13-6, 10-11 as the 13 does draw in for Iced Mocha there with Keith Fusel in his first leg of his early pick 3. Let's go ahead to the second leg in race number 3 in this claiming 7,500, going 2 turns here. Scratch in the number 2. Just double checking just what I've got here. We're running off of, but yes, scratching the 2, big scratch for me, Keith. But we both land on a bit of a value play. Helms Deep, Rudy Sanchez Solomon, Raul Mena. Take it away with your dissertation.
You've got to feel, I mean, the 2 was going to take a lot of play. I guess you could say he was the horse to beat. I was hoping he'd stay in because I was going to try to beat him. I was going to use him underneath. But some sketchy form exists within race 3. Nobody really lighting up the board with recent form, including our top selection. Zoomer has had some good races over this racetrack, some back figs, but was claimed off of Ness 2 races back. TJ Acquire trying to get this one back off the trainer change as well from Kim Gracie, a user underneath. But we saw the same thing, I think. Helms Deep, you look over on your daily racing form or your track program if you're new, and you see some of these interesting little stats, some tidbits. Wet. That means wet track, off track. She is 4 for 11. Or he is 4 for 11 is Helms Deep. He is the speed of the speed. We're taking a shot. He gets to the front, gets to his favorite surface, and can get brave on the lead. So I like your value play here with the 5 Helms Deep.
And I play it as an all or nothing.
Exactly.
This one is going to be. This one is either going to be lighting up the tote board, winning, or this one is going to be finishing, 10, 12 lengths behind the field. So it just depends. But studies have proven, past has proven that things are looking pretty good there.
Last time he was seen on a sloppy sealed surface was back in May over this racetrack. He runs a 68 Beyer. That's the speed figures that we use here in the daily racing form. The track programs are a little bit different. But Helms Deep cleared off and just kept on going at 18-1. Maybe we can get a repeat. And in that field, he beat better horses. Bobby G, Fortune's Fool. I don't have a whole lot to say about the rest. 5-1-4-3. You're right on the same. Let's move on to the fourth.
Let's do that. Let's go ahead to race number 4 that starts the Rainbow Pick 6, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at my ticket, of course. That $11,000 pot hit last 2 weeks ago, so we're going to try and get back into business here. Single in on the number 9, Curb, in race number 5, and that maiden claiming 12-5. Despite the fact that we have 12 horses in that field stays intact. Going to be interesting, but that one is bred to love this type of surface. Tries the wet dirt for the first time here today. That's really we'll get into the rest of the field here, but I give you guys a $28.80 ticket. Race 8, I originally had a single, but then I ended up going 4 wide, so that kind of tells you how the off track kind of affects what's going on here today. And without a doubt, we're okay, guys. Let's go ahead and discuss race number 4, going 7 furlongs on the dirt and claiming $20,000 for the 3-year-olds and up, which have never won 2. No scratches here, Keith. Let's go ahead with your top selection in the number 7, JJ Valentin, here in the Barnum Cal. Juarez, Alexander Crispin on the outside.
Yeah, we've got Crispin on the outside and in the clear today. Last time out, this horse was hampered by some early adversity, leaving the 5/8 bowl, and then he was very keen and pulled his rider up to contention, leaving the 3/8. He had to tap the brakes. He had to wait. This is why we kind of go back and watch videos and pick out these troubled trips. We've got a some other ones later in the day we're going to show you. But J.J. Valentin, I wish I would have brought this one up, but kept on grinding into a pretty good flow. This horse got positioned into a fast pace. Now we're going out an extra furlong, 7 furlongs today with 6 last. But I'm looking at his running style. Maybe he has to deal with Honor the Cross a little and a lot as the speeds. But given a cleaner trip into the turn and around the turn, not having to start and stop, I think he can just relax outside of these speeds and possibly make that pop move around the quarter pole and get it done. Second time here for Callie Juarez.
Let's also talk about the number 5, Cajun Vibes. Now, you didn't have a video on your 7 on your top selection, but you do have a video on your horse and your exacta here for Daniel Scidoletto. Georgie Gonzalez gets the call.
Yeah, this is a trainer that's new to the area, but doing well. And this one, first time in the barn. School of Town overcame some early adversity as well. We're going to see this highlighted with a little bobble and a little bump, some contact out of the gate at Penn National. This was off a little bit of a freshening. This horse was gelded a few months ago and has seemed to kind of gotten on his game. His only tries on the dirt have been very, very good, and recovers and makes a pretty bold run 4 wide. Now, this is a better group that he's facing today, but visually, this horse was eager through the final quarter of a mile, wins away just kind of for fun. Buyer figure of 63. It kind of works within this group. Faces tougher, but very sharp form for a barn who has sent some horses in here that have run very well. I believe the race is going to go through the 6 a little and a lot for Ness. Second time for this barn. This horse is yet to try an off track, but certainly the breeding suggests he should thrive on an off track. He's very quick. Might be able to get the better of Honor the Cross around the turn, and we'll see if he can take it from there. I think he's going to have to look in the rearview mirror because Cajun Vibes, J.J. Valentin, and even the 4 horse you've got in the mix as well. I like this at a 6-1. Tap Anchor was protected both tries off the layoff. Goes in for the tag today. Has had excuses twice. If things develop up front, I think 7-8 should work right to his favor. So I'll key around the 5 and the 7. I think this is a very, very close race. Your third selection, the 1, Villaluz. Absolutely. Well, I think Villaluz is a user. Honor the Cross.
Sure.
I respect the try last time because that horse held very well. Look at the short comment. Extended battle, trying, turning back in distance to 1 turn. I think is a user. Yeah, this is a tough race 4.
You got to dive in deep a little bit. We'll have more information there in the afternoon as well. 7-5, 6-4 there in race number 4. Let's go to race number 5. That starts the late pick 5. Of course, the pools are always pretty attractive in there. And, of course, it starts with a nice maiden claiming 12-5, going 3/4 of a mile on the dirt. For the 2-year-old fillies, Keith, a scratch in the late scratch, in the number 4, making mischief. You go with the outside horse in the 11 and Golden Aurora on the outside. Second time starter, for Robbie Bales. Dennis Arujo tries dirt and then tries a wet dirt on top of that for the first time.
Another tricky race. These 2-year-old fillies towards the bottom level. Not a ton of established form. I would say the 9, your top selection. Yes, I will be using. I believe she's the horse to beat when it's all said and done. But looking for a little flyer, Robbie Bales at a price sometimes. He'll jump up and get you. Golden Aura was given a race over the turf at 34-1 in a maiden special weight race. Kind of a protect move for a horse who was only bought for 10. Arojo, he comes back, right? I like this. This horse has some good works on the main track. Half to a horse named Hammer. That's our man up in the press box, maybe named after Jack Harmon. But half to Hammer, who won over a muddy surface here at Laurel, going back in May with a buyer of 61. A little bit of a reach. I think the flow is going to be contested. Golden Aurora, one thing we've got to talk about, too, the way we put out our selections and the way I personally look at these. We've got a lot of newer fans here this morning and for this afternoon's card.
Welcome.
Again, I will tell you if I really like a horse as a win bet, but when you see these 4 selections on the bottom, if any of these horses are 8-1, 6-1 or higher, please bet $2 to win, $2 to place, especially if you're a $2 better. Throughout the course of the year, you're going to make money because we had one the other day that paid $130. So use those. That's the flyer in race number 5. The 9 Curb video spotlight for this one as well?
I don't believe so.
No? Maybe I didn't add this one. I'm sorry.
Next time.
Okay, but Curb ran very well. A drop last time precipitous from 45 to 15. Didn't get it done, but didn't have the eases of trips as well. It was kind of stymied down inside. Had to tap the brakes. When it worked out and split horses late, she finished up quite well. I think with a rider like Forrest Boyce, these jockey-trainer combo going to try to break the schneid. Going to be very, very difficult because she's going to sit back off the pace a little bit, I believe, and time that rally. So she's the one to beat for me. Ride to remember, Cherry Robb with 2-year-olds, second out in maiden claimers. He's deadly, 31%, involved in a very quick pace last time, 22-4, 46-4 for 25,000. She carries her speed a little bit longer, if not all the way today. 11-9, 2-1 in race 5.
There we go. We will be right back after this commercial to discuss the rest of the Thanksgiving card here on Thanksgiving Day. Welcome for being here. And welcome back. And of course, we kick back into action here with our jackpot super high 5 here in race number 6. And it's only in race number 6 gets those numbers from the 1 to the 5 there for that pool that we had in the starter optional 30,000 going 7 furlongs on the dirt for the 3-year-olds and up. Scratch in the 9 and the 10. Keith, you have the number 1 on a top. Union Fleet, Jose Magana, Andrea Chavez. Let's take a look at that effort from back on the 24th.
There's a video spotlight. I got them all confused today.
That's okay. That's what I'm here for.
Gearing up. Cocktails will be flowing later. But anyhow, Union Fleet might be back on his game for Jose Magana. This is a horse that loves 7 furlongs. That's what we're going to get today. But this particular afternoon at the 1-turn mile ran against the grain of the racetrack a long way. Dropped inside. That's not really where you wanted to be. Works a split. Just gets beat. This is a brutal beat. Most Perfect was dead game, just kept grinding. But Union Fleet pokes ahead in front, loses by a nose. But I tell you what, number way up. We're going to hold the level here for Magana. Off track. This horse likes an off track as well. Look at that stat. 8 starts, 2 wins, 3 seconds. Needs to get positioned through the opening furlong to 3/16 of a mile. The speed, it's going to be out there. Running River, Monday Morning QB, Coffee with Chris. It should be honest. Union Fleet, it's been a little while since a win, but I think at the number, you're getting 8-1 is a definite user, a definite win in place bet if he holds close to that. Horse to beat's got to be the 6, Monday Morning QB. This horse is just holding tremendous form for trainer Kieran McGee. Has run 3 bang-up races, 2 wins in a second, and last time out at this level. Faced a good horse and on the mark, was beaten at 4-5, but had a major excuse. This horse kind of came out a little awkward, hit the side of the gate. Then he rushed up into a very quick pace before being rated back and then making another move. I like it when horses can do that. Protected again for Kieran. Look for him to go towards the front or set up shop just off the speeds. 7/8, he can get this done.
Okay. 1652 for Keith
Yeah.
Fusel there in race number 6.
Collaborate. The
Thank you.
5 is Corrales. We had this one in the other day. Comes back here now. First off the claim. This has just been a good move. This is a horse. He was set at a mile last time out, or a mile and 16th, I think, the other day. We're going to go 7/8. I still think it fits his scope, so it should work. And the 2 Curlin's Malibu just going to toss in again as a price. You've got this. This horse, a horse for course here. Curlin's Malibu likes Laurel Park.
Yeah, absolutely. May potentially get a better trip, an easier company on a wet surface as opposed to last time this horse ran on the slop. 1652 for Keith Fusel there in race number 7. Let's go ahead and kick on in this allowance optional, claiming 40,000, going at 2 turns on the dirt here, a mile and 16th for the 3-year-olds and up. Scratches in the 2, 4, and 6, as well as the 1A. Keith, you go ahead with the number 8 on the outside. Boss Logic, Kieran McGee, Horacio Caramanos on the outside. May get a little bit help that way here with this field that's had a couple of scratches.
Right, we're down, to 5?
Yes.
Okay, so we're down to 5. And this opening quarter is going to be interesting, how these jockeys, how these riders approach it. Manor House, I think, wants to be fairly close, but I don't think he's quite as quick as Search Engine or Boss Logic. Search Engine, we'll get to him in a second, is going to be he's going to be up there on the flow. But I think it's attack mode again. Caramanos really gunned Boss Logic last time. I was like, man, he's really getting this horse involved early and was really scrubbing on him. He went through this internals, 22.246 flat at 7/8 of a mile, and he looked like he had every right to just back up and pack it in the final quarter of a mile. He didn't. He stayed around. You see my comment, trying. He kept giving effort. Again, this was a late put back on top. He's 4 for 5 on an off track, on the wet tracks. I think you'll see Caramanos get aggressive again. When he's at his peak, he can sit just outside of another speed horse and dog him going along. So there's my slight edge with Boss Logic. He'll come way down, unfortunately, off of his 8 to 1 morning line because of these scratches.
That he will, because we'll also talk about Search Engine for Brittany and Sheldon Russell, coming 3rd off of the layoff, 3rd after the claim as well. We've got a video spotlight on that exact moment here last time out.
Yeah, claimed off of Ness a couple races back. They weren't scared. Comes right back with a win in a 2 other than. Now, these allowance races, they go through stages. A other than, 2 other than, 3 other than. So this horse is coming back to the 2 other than condition, maybe a little bit softer. Ran into a inform horse accelerator who came back to win. But Search Engine was thrust into the race early. Still fairly solid internals at the 1-turn mile. I thought held quite well. 4th only beaten 2. You're going to see down to the inside of all of these horses, but giving away ever so grudgingly. Search Engine's a horse, I get a little bit of a drop. Again, I think if Boss Logic gets aggressive, it's going to be a cat and mouse, I think, between these two going into the first turn and around the first turn.
You said it.
But he can prompt if needed. 8-3-1-7. Your analysis will be the one to benefit. If he's holding there at like 4 or 5 to 1, and it's later in the day, we talk about a get out. He may be the one you concentrate upon because he's going to give you the best value, and he is a proven closer into this field. Manor House is in great form, though. He had a really, really tough trip last time. It was dead game.
Exactly. He's not a horse you're going to go for on a wet dirt, but because you mentioned, because he's in such good form, why not throw him in there? Absolutely. 8-3-1-7, race number 7. Race number 8, our feature race of the day, shapes up very interesting here in this allowance optional 62.5, a mile and 16, 2 turns here for the straight 2-year-olds. No scratches here, and all the better for it. We both go with Best Friend Rocket with Brittany and Javian Toledo. Let's go ahead and take a look at that effort last time out and that winning effort, I do believe, in that winning effort here at Laurel for the first time.
Yeah, I could come up with a reason for pretty much everybody. I'm kind of mad at myself that I come up with the even money shot. But it is Brittany Russell, and it's a horse that traveled into her barn. This was first time Brittany last time. A little green, didn't really like the racetrack, maybe at Aqueduct or the kickback. They put the blinkers on. And this guy really relaxed. He settled just outside of another Brittany horse, a horse that was shipping from the West Coast from Bob Baffert's barn, who was the favorite and looked like the speed of the speed. This guy just got better as the race went longer, it looks like to me. So if that's an indicator of things to come and he takes another step up, well, he's going to be awfully dangerous. He's close. He's got enough speed to lay close enough, but I think the speed's going to be Schrader outside. Don't be scared to use this one underneath because he keys up against the right kind. He's sneaky to me. Mission Artemis, another one, I think, from the inside. We'll go ahead and get Poe. But I like the improvement, a $575,000 purchase. Trying to make some dividends here by Curlin. Certainly, off track should not be an issue.
No, shouldn't be. Shouldn't be. A lot of these horses, the back breeding shows a lot of they are gearing towards that direction. All the hard ways you mentioned already. But talking about the number 4 as well, Lil Sebastian, Justin Dixon, Angel Cruz kind of did the hard work already early on. Just kind of had, Maryland Millie Nursery just because was kind of a womp.
Yeah, just, stumbled at the break. It was kind of all done after that. Had to move into that flow. It was very, very quick. But we return as a first-time gelding, stretching out. Justin Nixon, everything he's kind of running. You got to respect this trainer. It doesn't run a lot, but, man, they win a lot. They hit the board a lot. So I'm going to use this horse. By Rogish, bottom side, tap it. You see that. This second dam had a couple wins. I think it was a grade 3 one as well at 1 mile and an eighth. So the route breeding is there. You've got this one in there at a price at a 15-1 morning line. Yes. Yep. All the hard ways I do think is going to be okay. I like the stamina build up off that mile turf race. Looking at the bottom side, it's there. I think this horse can close into it if things get contested up front. 5, 6, 3, 4, and a very, very tricky race, wide open. Again, if it's later in the day and we're looking, we're kind of reaching for prices. I think maybe Lil Sebastian is that shot horse, and maybe even Schrader at a big number to go ahead and send. So his speed is kind of holding throughout this card. Take another look at Schrader because Brasino and McMahon, they have a very good ROI together. They've pulled some upsets, and they could try to go ahead and get aggressive from this outer post. I know it's not my top 4, but, again, we talk about as the day goes on, you have to adjust sometime. Yes, the 5's the horse to beat, but there's some value to be had maybe in the 4, Lil Sebastian, and the 7, Schrader.
Wanted to throw in the 21 to value at the number 2, That's Mr. Tap with Troy Singh. The half-sibling was a physical win, but won by 9, first time on the mud, and the dam also physically won by 9.5 lengths, and the dam also, she was listed stakes, I believe she won, but the half sibling, it doesn't show it, but physically the half sibling first time routing, first time on an off track, won by 9, was DQ'd down to 6. So there's a little something there. So that's just caught my attention. Love the breeding on the bottom side there for That's Mr. Tap. Let's talk about let's go ahead to race number 9. Let's get to our finale here for Thanksgiving here. In this maiden claiming 12.5, going 1 mile on the dirt for the girls 3 to 5, scratch in the 2. You go with the number 1 La Chica for Tequila. Let's go ahead and take a look at that nice effort on the dirt last time out.
Yeah, we'll hurry things up for real. I know everybody's got to get to the donuts, the coffee, and we got to get to the windows. I got to get my pies. We got to get to the windows too. But first arrives the horse to beat. Going to go to the front. Yeah, we'll see how far she can go. I mean, she's had 11 tries. She probably gets it done on the front end today. But look at this horse, La Chica for Tequila last time. The 4 horse in the pink cap, now dropping towards the inside with 3/16 of a mile to go. This is a 6 furlong race. She's going to have to stretch out a couple furlongs today. But I like the way she finishes up. And I thought if the jock stays inside, probably wins it. He's going to alter out. Maybe he kind of saw something from the 2. Maybe thought was going to drift in. But look at this finish. She is really reaching there on the stretch out. That was the first time on the main track. She's by Keen Ice, who's by Curlin, and you're looking at some of the siblings. Crone, El Fuego Mas Brillante. Now, those horses have done maybe their best work on the turf, but did it going longer. I think the stamina is there with this one. Second time here for Corrales, or third time, I should say. Third time Corrales, but second time Corrales on the main track. Yep. That's like my upset horse in the last, because first to arrive, your top selection is going to be very tough on the front. I just don't know if anybody – maybe dropping Levens can press her a little bit, but if she clears like she did, and you look at, she's got kind of gaudy figs, dirt figs compared to the rest of this group.
Absolutely. 1, 3, 5, 6 for Keith Fustel there. Wanted to wrap things up. Let's dive into your value plays a little bit. Starting in race number 3, Helms Deep, 20 to 1 on the morning line in race number 3. With, of course, Rudy Sanchez-Salmon and Raul Mena. Yeah,
you and I see the same thing. If anything's going to move this guy back up, recent form, he's been going about 3 quarters and said, see you later. The wet track, he just seems to be a different horse on this surface, so he's worth a flyer. You're going to get a thrill at a 20 to 1 morning line, but I do expect him to come down some. I'm going to say he's probably going to be 8 or 10 when it's all said and done, just for the fact of that stat, the track came up wet, and
Right.
Southern District being scratched.
Absolutely. Going on to race number 6 in our Jackpot Super High 5 race, you've got a value play in the number 1 Union Fleet at 8-1. Of course, that's in the barn of Jose Magana. Andrea Chavez gets the call there with the weight off.
A little bit of a wake up. This is a horse that thrives at 7 furlongs and doesn't mind an off track. Just have to avoid any kind of clutter early, getting shuffled, because he's not the fastest early, and especially against this group. I think he's going to be outrun a little bit to the far turn. But so hopefully he can avoid any kind of real trouble. He's got the grinding style here that's going to be difficult. To deny. I think he's going to be in the mix. Maybe not a winner, but he's definitely my 1, 2, 3s for sure in race number 6.
Well, thank you guys so much for listening in. Welcome to Laurel Park if it's your first time here. Happy Thanksgiving, and hopefully we give you some more prices. On to Dave Rodman for some more changes and scratches.
All right, good luck and get the money.